All right, YouTube. This is an interesting story. That's a true story, obviously. About some dates I went on with a girl that used to be homeless. So, I've been going on a lot of random dates that are from online dating, right? So, Tinder, Facebook dating, or OkCupid is typically what I use. So, because I'm single now, I had a relationship. First of all, for a background, I had a relationship from July to September. And before that, I had a relationship in 2019 that ended um, February 2019, but it lasted about 2 years. So, what I did in between those two relationships and also after my recent relationship is trying to get done a lot of interesting kind of experiences, taking advantage of this time that I am single. Because I don't know if the next relationship I'll have will be my last relationship, in the sense that it may be a permanent one that'll lead to marriage, blah, 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 blah. You know? So, anyways, one experience I wanted to have was or that came up, was this girl that I was talking to on Facebook dating happened to be homeless at different points. So I thought it would be an interesting experience to be able to go on a date with someone who happened to be homeless at a different part of their life. So this girl is 20. She turned 20 in December. I'm 24. So this girl is from a town that's like, or she now currently lives in a town that's 45 minutes northwest of me. And I live about 20 minutes outside of Boston, 20 minutes west of Boston. So this girl, I was talking to her starting, I think, November, but I didn't meet her until January. And it was interesting. So first of all, when we were talking, she would get quite angry at different points if I didn't answer too quick. Or she would get really angry about if considering the fact that I didn't plan a plan with her sooner than later, and also in ways that were exactly what she wanted. So we eventually ended up finally meeting in January, but during most of that first point, though, of me talking to her, she was homeless. She was homeless, um, and then she was sent to a psychiatric hospital because she felt suicidal. And then her parents, not her real biological parents, but the ones who adopted her, or not adopted her, I forget what it's called. The ones who are caretakers for her. I don't know why I'm blanking out right now on what that's called, but they took her in after that hospitalization because they felt bad. Also, considering her birthday was coming up like a week after she got hospitalized. So, anyways, we finally decided to meet when she, towards the beginning of January, right? So, she lived in different places throughout her life within Massachusetts. And I found out, like, when we were hanging out, that she is owned by the state. So the benefit for that is she can get, like, she used to be able to get, like, certain free or cheap housing. I forget what it was. I think cheap. That's what it is, discount. But it would be, like, special kind of housing that she would have to apply for, and this and that. And also she gets her college paid. Um, so I found out, which I could tell, I'm really good at sensing what sort of disorders people could have. And I could sense that she had borderline personality disorder, and I guessed it correctly. And no offense to people with borderline personality disorder, but they can be quite a handful. Uh, I believe they could be significantly more of a handful than bipolar people. Bipolar people, there's a wide range. There's people that have bipolar that could have their moments that they're more intense or less intense. Then there's ones that can be like harmless in almost every regard and peaceful, like peaceful in the sense they won't harm you in any way, and quite functional people. It's like it's a wide spectrum, kind of like autism, versus borderline personality disorder. For what I've experienced of every borderline personality disorder person I've met, they've been quite a handful in a lot of ways. But I'm able to connect with them quite well in a lot of regards. Um, and so what happened was I picked her up. She doesn't drive. She doesn't have a car. I picked her up, and we were going to go to Applebee's, a town away from her. So I haven't been to Applebee's for years because all the Applebee's around me have closed. So I thought it was pretty neat. At the time, she was working at a different Applebee's that was in her town. That's why we didn't go in the one that is at her town. So we went to Applebee's. We ate there. It was good. We got a discount because she is an employee at that other Applebee's. Um, and I was the one who paid because I was doing that because for a birthday gift, uh, since she was a birthday girl about a month before. And yeah, it was a good time. We connected well and everything. Nice girl. And another interesting coincidence is I found out that she actually was friends with my ex's younger sister, my recent ex's younger sister, because they both happened to go to the same vocational or charter school. I always get them mixed up. Not mixed up, but me and like in this situation, I forget which one my ex and ex's little sister went to, if it was a vocational or charter school. I think it might have been charter school. But yeah, so that was a very interesting connection. Um, and also, uh, yeah, so after we decided to fuck when we were in the car, right? So we fucked in my car in that parking lot, but it was like a little further. It was like a giant plaza kind of parking lot with connected to Home Depot, et cetera, et cetera. And it was late at night at that point. And yeah, so we decided to do that. I had condoms. I had them just in case on me. I didn't think we would remotely get that far. I didn't think that was going to happen, but it happened, and it was great. But yeah, so that was that first date. It was good. It was chill. And then on our way back, like when I was gonna drop her off, she was singing a little bit along to the music that she was playing. Like she was playing her Spotify playlist of EDM music. And whenever I hear people sing along to music or whatever, it is not good, or it's just average, or it's nothing special. You know what I mean? But this girl, it was incredible. So I said something like, wow, do you know how to sing or this? Yeah, we got into that whole topic of music. And I showed her some of my music. She liked it. So it was neat. So someday we're going to make a song together. And I look forward to that. But yeah, she's a cool, chill, neat girl. So I only hung out with her one other time after, which was. And the reason why I haven't hung out with her much is because I've been distracted with a lot of different stuff that I've been doing, a lot of stuff I've been working on, hanging out with like close friends or whatever, and dealing with other issues that happen to like occur. So I had to like try to figure out how to resolve it or whatever, or get away from it. So And also considering like this girl lives 45 minutes or so away from me, so it's just like kind of a force. And also she can be like a handful in the sense of like the mood changes are intense and stuff like that. So, anyways, the next time we hung out was we were gonna go to a farm that she was gonna see. So she bought two horses not too long ago. So she was gonna rent some space on a farm. So the guy who owns that farm will take care of the horses a little for the most part, but she'll here and there come help out, take care of her horses, and then also his horses. So um, I thought this farm was going to be like a few towns or so away from her. No, it ended up being quite far. It ended up being like 50-minute to an hour drive. It was in New Hampshire, but a part of New Hampshire which is further away than I thought it would have been. So, uh, but this actually occurred about a day or two after I cut off a whole friend group, and that's a whole other story. And that was pretty intense stuff. But so it was nice that I was going on this whole random adventure with this girl. So we went so I picked her up and then we headed to that part of New Hampshire. And first of all, something that was quite disgusting. I don't know if any of you have experienced this in the past, but she smelled like real stanky pussy. It was horrible. I didn't want to like roll down the window because it would look suspicious and or offensive, and also because it would be like obvious. Considering it's like kind of winter at that time. This was in February. So it would just look weird or whatever. So yeah, we went to we went to go to New Hampshire, and at the beginning it was horrible, but I think she realized how she didn't smell good at all. And she was like, "Oh, is it okay if I open the window for a little?" And I was like, "Oh yeah, sure, that's fine." But I was thinking in my head, "Thank God." And so she did that for about like 15 minutes or so. And then for the most part, it ended up being fine for the rest of the time. Slash, I got adjusted. But uh, so it was a chill vibe. We went there, but on our way there, we saw a car on the other side of the highway towards the beginning when we arrived in New Hampshire. We saw a truck. I mean, on the other side, all the front of it, like the front half, was all like melted. It turns out I found out in the news later on that it was a trash truck that caught on fire, and the driver, was thankfully able to safely exit the vehicle. But it was intense because it was the most firefighters, ambulances, police, etc. that I've ever seen in a highway sort of situation. We saw the aftermath of it though, where it wasn't on fire, but it was like melted, a lot of it. So it was a very interesting sight. And at first, when we first saw it, we thought the guy was like dead in the front passenger seat, but thankfully that wasn't the case. He's fine. But anyways, that was a weird sight. So then we ended up making it to a gas station where I had to take a piss badly. And yeah, she was just like telling me the story of like that's where she would stand outside with like a cardboard sign and like beg for money and whatever. That was one of her main spots during one point in time where she was homeless. She was homeless in different areas, but that was the time when she was homeless in New Hampshire. So, yeah, it was interesting hearing that story and perspective. We ended up making it to the farm in New Hampshire. It was like the middle of nowhere in that part of New Hampshire, and this guy